I think excellent. We're live. Excellent, 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 guys. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry for the small delay. Technology is still giving me a hassle, but we are here nonetheless, and it's gonna be a great night. So my name is Shanika. I am a career coach that works with millennials to help them find their passion and reach their destiny. So I am coming to you today to speak all about network. As you guys know, this is week 5. So I'm super excited about that. This is week 5 of the course, week 5. And you guys have made it. You guys have made it through this course. It's definitely been an amazing, amazing time with you guys. And so we have one more week left. One more week. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys, you need, I want to make sure you guys are asking questions, everything like that, so that we can make this last 2 weeks. Right? So again, any questions you have, fish them to me. I still want feedback from you guys on the assignments that you guys have already done so far, the webinars, the one-on-one sessions, even the journals. As you can see, I have cut the journals out for the past 2 weeks. And the reason why I've done that is because I know that difficult for people to keep up just a little bit with the assignments because of their schedules and things of that nature. So I want to definitely that, you know, the information that is provided to you is enough and that you can keep up. So I decided out of my own discretion to go ahead and just take those journals out. Okay. So I do want to go ahead and get started with week 5. This week will be all about networking. Okay. So this week will be all about networking and the importance of networking, the value in networking, things of that nature. So I'm super excited that you guys are here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Okay. Throughout this, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box, and when the session is done, I'll make sure to address those questions. One in here. So slow for some reason. Okay. All right, guys. So as you know, we are week 5, and this is all about marketing your first impression. So last week we talked about your first impression, which is your resume, but now you're marketing that in first impression, which is not necessarily to say that you're marketing resume, but you are definitely marketing yourself, which entails, of course, your skills and your experiences that are going to be, of course, listed on your resume. Okay, so about today. So again, this is week 5. I mean, it's really been crazy, like how fast the weeks have been going. This is the final week of this class. Like, it's crazy. But this week is going to be a fun week. I actually enjoy this week. This is one of my favorite weeks. I like next week too, but this is definitely one of my favorite weeks. I definitely want you to take it seriously, and I would definitely say that your belief and everything will be tested this week. You're going to be, you know, challenged to go outside of your comfort zone. All right. So I want to go ahead and jump into it just like always. So again, this week is all about networking. And when you're networking, you're marketing and you're branding yourself. Okay. So I want to go into a little bit about what each one of those means, so you have a clear understanding about what they are and the differences between them. Okay. But of course, how they mesh together as well. So marketing is the way in which you put yourself out into a field of your choice. Okay, so it's basically the promises that you make to people. So for instance, this course, you know, me and Jennifer were working together, and we decided that this will, of course, be a 6-week course. Well, you know, this course had to be marketed. All right, so she had to market this course to you all. Of course, beforehand, she had to know what your needs were. So she had knew beforehand that you guys, you know, needed help possibly with resume building, just being able to get a clear understanding about what you want to do. And once she knew that she had a good amount of people who were requesting the same services that I offer, we decided to put together a course. Okay, even once it was put together, she still marketed it so it could be appealing to you all. Okay, so she had to market it and make it so that you knew, you know, exactly what will be offered in the course and things like that. All right, so branding, and one of my good friends and brand strategists, she told me this, is basically what people say about you when you are not in the room. Okay, so of course I'm hosting this 6-week course, but when I get off of the webinar, when I, you know, get off of the one-on-one sessions, when you're telling people about your experiences in this course, you're basically, you know, brand, and you're telling people information about me when I'm not there. Okay, and so the way that I know if I'm effectively branding or not is by the information that you tell people. Okay, so if you say, you know, she's a career coach and she specializes in working with millennials, but she also works with older people too, specifically like the Generation X, and she focuses mainly on resume building, you know, interview prep, researching, networking. Those are some of the areas that she focuses on, and that means that I've done a good job. Now, if you say something completely, you know, different than what I actually do, then that means that I probably didn't brand myself that well, and that means that, you know, there was probably some confusion somewhere, that I gave out some information to you that was actually incorrect, but that is how you took it. So that's what branding and marketing is. Okay, so how do you market yourself? Okay, because again, we all market, we all have sales abilities, and we all have marketing abilities. So you're marketing actually every day. Okay, it's not something where you got to think about, or, you know, of course, people when they go to college, they do, you know, take they major in marketing, or you can probably get certifications in marketing to get really deep into the field. But just on a general basis, you're marketing every day. Okay, so basically when you're speaking to somebody, you're marketing yourself. This is why it is very important to be on point in all times, because people are always listening and watching to what you do. Even when you think they're not listening and watching, they are listening and watching. Okay, your resume is the traditional way, of course, to market and brand yourself, right? In, you know, old days, decades ago, even a decade ago, even years ago, you know, mainly the main way to reach employers was by sending in your resume. Okay, but now, as you guys know, and as we've been talking about over the past few weeks, is that things are changing. New innovations are coming about. There are new trends. There is a major advancement in technology. So now everything is fast paced, and people are using various ways to find people. Sitting at home and waiting for people to call them. They're being proactive, and they're going and finding the people who they want to connect with. And one of the ways they're doing that is through networking. That's one of actually the main ways today. Okay, so your resume, again, is the traditional way that people reach out to people, but people really see results when you're able to use multiple methods. All right, so you want to think about reaching out to people by utilizing social media. We talked about LinkedIn, emailing, cold networking, workshops, after 5 p.m. events, conferences, retreats, and masterminds. Okay, and I'm going to try to touch on each one of these, but even specifically so masterminds. Okay, so who do you speak to? You meet people every day. Okay, so that's one way that you speak to people. Okay, you're gonna meet people when you go to the grocery store, at your job, when you go to the mall, just on the street. Maybe as you're driving the car, somebody may pull up beside you and you may hold a conversation at the gas station. Anywhere you're gonna be meeting people, but research is definitely key. Okay, so you definitely want to have, especially if you're trying to go into a particular field and you don't know a lot about that, we've already talked about this, but research. Okay, you never know who you will meet, so you want to make an impact on those people when you do meet them. Okay, target your field, but also step outside the box as well. So search your field, know that information about it, and try to go to events that are within your field, but step outside the box too, because again, you never know who you will meet. And some of the people who do similar things as you want to do, maybe at some of these outside of the box networking events, meaning if you're trying to go into the engineering field and there is a networking event, after 5 event for engineers in your area, excellent. Definitely go to that. You're going to meet people, you know, who are, of course, doing the same thing that you want to do or that you are already doing. But if you also see another networking event, maybe a couple days later or the next week, that is just like a general mixer or just like a small little get together, I would still say go to some events like that too, because again, you could meet people there. I've seen it, you know, I've go to networking events now like all the time. So you definitely want to be doing both, using a mix of both. So by doing this, you're not going to be limiting yourself. Okay, so networking is, like I said, you're meeting people every day, you're talking to people every day, definitely. But there is an art to networking. Okay, there's an art to networking. And you must understand that it's very important for you to learn the information from the previous weeks before moving forward. I keep saying this, but it's really, really, really important. Okay, it's really, really, really important for you to master that information from the previous weeks, and to get the information that we're presently talking about. If you have any questions, of course, like I always say, ask questions. Okay, make sure that you are utilizing social media and LinkedIn, and understand the analytics and processes for gaining connections. Understand that networking is an art. It is about being yourself, but you also have to know how to grab people's attention, just like with resume building. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few steps tonight on, you guys probably know I'm infamous for steps, but I want to go through a few steps to go through the process of networking. Okay, so step 1, plan where you want to go. Okay, if you plan to go to an event, plan where you want to go, understand the requirements, the culture, etc. Plan to arrive early. Plan what you are going to wear, what will you bring, what will you say. Okay, so again, that goes back to the researching component and kind of having an idea about your field, idea about the event, what time it will be, everything like that. All right, I highly suggest that, unless it's just, you know, a free falling event, you know, sometimes if it's like a little mixer, like an after 5 mixer, sometimes people just choose to show up, and that's fine, especially if you see it last minute. I would still say try to get some time to plan. And the reason why I say that is because you don't want to do this at the last minute. You want to make sure that even if you decide to go at the last minute, that maybe you have some business cards in your car or some business cards in your purse or something that you can make sure to take to this networking event. You want to have an idea of what this networking event is about. Maybe there will be some sponsors there, or maybe there will be certain things happening. Maybe they will have like a book signing or something like that. Have an idea what will be happening at the event. What is your purpose for going to this event? Is it just to meet some people in the area? Is it to find some collaborations? What is your purpose of going to the event? So you want to have all these things in the back of your mind as you're going. Okay, so plan it out. To be genuine and be true to yourself. Be real with yourself. The only connections that work are the ones that you truly care about. All of the connections that you want to make should have a purpose. Okay, how can, like for instance, how can I be beneficial to this person, and how can they be beneficial to me? So I'll give you an example. Back in August, I went to a branding retreat in Las Vegas. Okay, it was a great opportunity for me to be able to network and collaborate with new people. Okay, as is all being business owners, we were there to learn, you know, from the brand strategist who was hosting the event, but we are also there to learn from each other and to showcase our businesses. We were all basically kind of doing different things, which was great. But as me being there, you know, still kind of being, you know, fairly like a new business owner and things like that, you know, I was amongst people who've been doing this for years, like, you know, decades, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I'm still trying to get there, but it was very, very important for me to be genuine and true to myself, because if I tried to go in there with trying to get the word right, but basically, like, I guess like a demeanor, there we go, a demeanor, kind of like a cocky demeanor, or that I'm better, or that because I have this business and I've done X, Y, and Z, that, you know, I know more, or whatever like that, it probably wouldn't have been able to work. You know, being at that, you know, I had, of course, had to listen. I had to be able to take direction. And that was how I was able to build these collaborations, you know, being able to get information from other people. So the same thing for you when you go to these networking events, just be yourself. Okay, let people know about who you are, what you're doing, or what you're trying to do. And don't try to fluff it up too much. Definitely don't downplay yourself. You know, don't make it seem like your accomplishments or what you're doing now don't mean anything, because they definitely do. But be true to who you are and tell it like it is. All right. Step 3, do not go into networking with the hope of getting employed, a speaking engagement, etc. I know it's very hard. I know sometimes we fall into rough patches, and it's easy to, you know, we just want. We want these things to happen, and we want them to happen fast. I know I'm like that too, because I like things to move very, 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 very fast. Okay. When I get into something, I want it to happen immediately. Okay. So I know of going to these networking events, it can be hard not to have any type of preconceived notions of going into them. However, your main objective for attending networking events is to gain information and connection. People go into networking events with the idea that they are going to gain a job, a speaking engagement, etc. But the people at your networking events do not know you. Okay, so why would they expect someone to give you some? Why would you expect someone to give you something that does not know you? Okay, that's like if you have a friend and they introduce you to one of their other friends, and this friend maybe, you know, is working at this top agency and it seems so amazing, and they get to travel around the world and do all this stuff, right? And so you ask them like, hey girl, like hook me up. Know your friend, they don't know you. So why would you think by you just saying, hey girl, give me a job, that they would be like, oh yeah, girl, I got you, I'll get you a job. Now, if you would maybe speak to them throughout the night, maybe y'all have a couple, y'all chat for a little while, you maybe explain your situation. Maybe they say like, oh, okay, well, I kind of know about an opening that's coming open. How about this? You know, send me your resume and I'll see if I can pass it along to my hiring manager. That seems like a more way to go about getting someone to do something for you, rather than you just meeting them right on the spot and having them do something for you and they don't even know you. Okay, so you want to make the people comfortable with you. Step 4, okay, your friends, and this may be a little bit hard for you guys to comprehend, but it's true, your friends cannot go with you everywhere. Cannot go with you everywhere. It is better to realize this sooner than later. Friends are our comfort zone. They make us laugh. We can talk to them about anything. We can travel together, etc. But your friends cannot go everywhere. Networking events are environments for learning and advancement. And sometimes our friends can prohibit this by allowing us to remain in our comfort zone. And you receive results when you step outside your comfort zone. So I'll give you an example. Okay, so I remember talking to one of the girls who's in this group that I'm in, and she was telling me about how she goes, or how she used to go to networking events with her friends. Really, what would happen is she would get to the networking event and she would be super, super stoked to, you know, basically work the room, find people to speak to and things like that. However, her friend wasn't as outgoing as she was, so typically her friend would either follow behind her or try to pull her away from the crowd and say, girl, yeah, let's talk in, you know, our own little group. Your friend is, you always talk in your own little group. The purpose of going to a networking event is to meet other people, who you can collaborate with, who maybe you can bring to your group, okay? Or who you can just collaborate with to make your business better, or to make your current situation better. All right. Now, I do know in some situations that you may have friends who, if you're going into business, who may also be in business, or if you're looking for a job, they may also be looking for a job. So I'm not saying that you can never, never, never take your friends to an event. But if you know that you guys are on 2 different wavelengths, it's probably not the best thing. Even if you guys are on, like, seeing eye to eye, it's still best that if you guys go to the same networking event, that you join, that you create a pact, right? You create a pact, and I remember one of my friends, she was telling me this, and it's so, so true. You create a pact, and what you do is when you guys get there, okay, you say, hey, I'm gonna go this way, and I would like if you go that way. Okay, we're gonna work this room throughout the night. At the end of the night, we're gonna come back together and tell each other what we learned or what we were able to gain. And that's actually a good pact to form, because that way, even though you went to you and your friend went to the event together, you're there together, you're there to support each other. Of course, you're there to build up yourself, but you know that you guys aren't going to be glued to each other's sides the whole time. You made a pact to separate find people to speak to, and at the end of the night, y'all come back together and say, yeah, girl, this is what I learned. You know, I got a potential collaboration, or, you know, I got a potential contact or referral, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind as you're networking as well. Step 5, you at these events, you want to start playing the role of an analyzer. Okay, you want to start playing the role of an analyzer, meaning that you want to find people with good energy. This may seem hard to just walk up to someone and say hello, but it can be easier if you identify people with a good spirit. Okay, you may say, well, Shanika, I don't know how to identify people who have a good spirit and people who don't. You actually do, because there's always something, that internal voice that sometimes we listen to and that sometimes we don't listen to, right? We all have an internal voice that's always speaking to us. Okay, I'm very spiritual, so I choose to believe it's God. I'm not saying that everybody is spiritual. So, you know, whatever you believe in is what it is. But everybody does have an internal voice, okay? No matter what you believe in. There's something inside of you that is speaking to you. And you have to resonate with that. And you have to go with that, okay? So when I go to a networking event, sometimes as you're walking around the room, you're going to feel different energies from people. Some people may be very, very welcoming to you. And if that's the case, that opens the door for you to go up to them and say, hey, hello, how are you doing this evening? Oh, I'm great. How are you doing? Excellent. What's your name? Oh, my name is such and such. And what's yours? Oh, my name is Shanika. Okay. So it opens the doors for you guys to start that initial conversation. However, sometimes when you go to networking events, you may get, you know, the feeling that some people are more closed off and they want to stay in their own circles. And they may not, you know, be open to letting you in. You know, that's fine. Typically at networking events is going to be a good amount of people. So you're not only going to have to limit yourself to talking to 1 or 2 people, you can, you know, speak to multiple people. So if you do feel kind of off with some people, don't worry about it. Find people who have the good energy, okay? Strike a conversation again by introducing yourself. Make your personality be known. Smile, make eye contact, shake people's hands. You want to attract people and make them want to speak to you, okay? They should know who you are, and you know they should have an idea of why they should care about who you are. Okay. Step 6. You want to make sure that you ask questions, okay? As my grandma used to say, and as I hear people say all the time, a closed mouth don't get fed. So you want to ask people questions about who they are, what they do, and what brought them to the event. You know, because maybe it was for a specific cause. Maybe they found out about it 5 minutes before it started. Whatever the case may be, what brought them to the event. Okay. Even something as eating can help you strike up a conversation. It really can. And you're like, wow, how? Well, let's say, you know, most of these networking events are going to have food. And maybe they find a certain dish on the buffet, if they have a buffet, that you didn't see. And you say, oh, girl, what are you eating? And they say, I'm eating such and such. Okay, excellent. You're able to strike up a conversation like that, because then you're able to go, you know, into, of course, more information about the food item, but even more so about who they are. And of course, that leads into what they do. And then that just starts the conversation. Step 7, listen, okay? Sometimes at these networking events, it's not just going to be you speaking to one other person. Sometimes you actually may join into a group that may have 2, 3, 4, or more other people in that group who are all speaking to each other, okay? So if you're inserting yourself in, of course, introduce yourself, but you're also going to have to listen. Okay, remember, at these networking events, there is not one person who's the main focus, unless typically there's a host or a keynote speaker or something like that. Other than that, you just go into the event just to be another person there to contribute. You're not the main focus. All right, you're of course you're a person that's there, like I said, to contribute, but you're not the main focus. So when someone is speaking to you and they're giving you information about who they are and what they do, listen to them. Okay, eliminate the side conversations that are going on in your head. And the reason why I say eliminate the side conversations is because I know that can happen. Okay, I know it's happened to me. I've heard other people say it happens to themselves. And what I mean by side conversations is, as someone is speaking to you, they're giving you all this information, but in your head, all you hear is wah, 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 wah. That's all you hear, because there's all these side conversations going on in your head. You're thinking about who's the next person that you can go and speak to, you know, what food is on the buffet. You're like, oh, her earrings are nice, you know, what am I gonna say as soon as she gets what am I gonna say as soon as she gets done speaking? You know, it's all these different side conversations that are going on in your head. Try to turn those conversations off. Okay, they will distract you from paying close attention to the person at the event. So by you listening, you can impress the person that you're speaking to, because you never know, again, who you will meet. You never know who these people are. All right, so step 8. Okay, you want to try to be of service to them, if at all possible. All right. Offer to do something for them if you can. This does not need to be anything major. All right. Maybe you meet a big sales executive and maybe you can offer them reviews of their products. Seriously, like that's something, especially if you're an entrepreneur, that's really good, because then as you're helping them, they will return the favor. Okay, this is how you can gain a connection and begin to build a relationship. All right, so step 9. Always, 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 especially if you made a great connection with someone, even if you didn't, and it was just someone you met in passing, try to always gain contact information of people. That's why I said make sure you take your business cards to these events, or just take your information to be able to give out. Have your phone number ready to give out to people and things like that, because it's going to be needed when you come back around and say, oh, who can I call for this or who can I call for that? All right. After speaking to someone, you may find them really interesting, so you want to ask them for their business card or their contact information, and of course you share yours as well, and you put their contact information in a safe place for a reference later. Okay, so if you get a physical copy of a business card or somewhere that you're not going to lose it. Business cards are always tricky because they're always those little pieces of paper that we put somewhere and you're like, wait a minute, where did I put that business card? So try to find a place that you're not going to lose it. The best ones nowadays to use are really like the e-business cards that can be on your phone, because as you're speaking to someone, they say, hey, do you have a business card? You can tell them about your business card, but it can be like an electronic one. That way they already have it stored on their phone somewhere, and it's much easier for them to keep up with without losing it. All right. Same thing for you. You can store their information in these e-business card systems. All right. Step 10. After you start, because when a conversation is going to start coming to an end. So when the conversation is coming to an end, you want to reintroduce yourself. You want to make sure that these people remember your name. Okay, so when you reach out to them, they're like, oh yeah, I remember you. All right. So before ending a conversation, provide them with your name and what you do again. Okay, so example, it was a pleasure meeting you, so-and-so. Just as a reminder, my name is Shanika Hunter, and I am a certified career coach that works with millennials on helping them find their passion and reach their destiny. It was, again, definitely a pleasure of speaking with you tonight about X, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a great night. This allows your name and purpose to remain fresh in someone's head, so you remain memorable. Okay? Step 11 is all about follow-up. To make networking work for you, you must follow up with people. This is why I adhere to putting the business cards or contact information in a safe place. Follow up less than 24 hours after the event. Give the person a brief synopsis of who you are. And yes, I put in bold and big letters, brief. Okay, one sentence. Okay. Sometimes when we have emails, we'll say, oh yeah, remember who I am? My name is Shanika, and at the event, we talked about X, Y, and Z, and you go into a whole paragraph about what you talked about. If you can give them the shortest amount of information that is concise, for them to remember, that's excellent. But as long as they remember you, they can most likely remember the conversation, especially if it's in less than 24 hours. Now, if it's like a week later, then that's something different. But typically less than 24 hours, go ahead and just give them a brief statement. All right. After you give them that brief statement about, your previous encounter, get into the meat of the email. Tell them how you enjoyed meeting them, and possibly invite them to another networking event or out, somewhere like to lunch or dinner, so you all can speak about business. The first couple follow-up emails are not meant for you to get anything. So once you email them and they follow back up with you and say, oh yes, excellent, I would love to meet for lunch, or let's have a phone conversation or something like that. excellent. You know, keep collaborating or keep connecting back and forth or keep corresponding back and forth through email for a little bit, because your goal is basically to build a relationship with people. Again, as I was talking about earlier, you want to make them comfortable, especially if you do find them a great connection and you would like to maybe work for them if they have a company. You're going to have to build that relationship. They're going to have to feel comfortable with you. All right, so those were my 10 steps for success with networking. But with networking, you also want to make sure that you stay consistent. You want to make sure that you stay consistent, because when attending networking events, you don't want to switch up a lot. You don't want to switch up a lot. If you bring yourself as a filmmaker, then do not go to networking events saying that you are interested in engineering. Okay, maybe you saw an engineering job that was making a lot of money and you want to now try engineering. If you know that you definitely want to be a filmmaker and that's what you want to do and that's what you're good at, stick to that. Once you start switching up a lot, it's going to throw you off, and it's eventually going to throw other people off too. All right, so I'll give you an example of myself. So when I attend events and I brand myself as a coach, okay, and I always dress, I market myself, okay, as a career coach, and I always dress in professional attire, okay. So when I leave the room, most likely that's what people are saying about me, because that's my brand, okay. When people see me, they know, okay, Shanika's going to be dressed up. She's going to be dressed in some type of professional attire, because that's just what I do. My brand, that's a part of me being a career coach, and that's just really a part of who I am, because I was doing it before I got into the business as well. All right, so don't just attend one networking event, attend multiple events and attend multiple different types of ones. Earlier I talked about, you know, code networking. I talked about going to retreats. I talked about going to conferences. I talked about masterminds. I talked about social media. These are all different ways to network. Them. Okay, don't just use one. All right, so if you find a conference in your area, excellent. But maybe the next week you utilize social media by trying to find people who are already your friends, or just utilizing social media's job board to be able to try to find whatever you're looking for. Okay, I was going to speak a little bit about masterminds too, because I feel like they are super important. Now, basically, a mastermind is not anything that's super complex. Really what it is just a group of people who come together, who are like-minded, who collaborate, you know, to make themselves better and to make, you know, each other better. Okay, so for instance, I'm in a mastermind right now. It's me and two other girls, or two other women, in fact, sorry, who are in a mastermind right now, and we really only met probably about a month ago, to be honest. It seems so much longer than that, maybe 2 months ago now, or close to 2 months ago, really. Yes, about close to 2 months ago now. But it really seems like a lot longer than that. But we met at a branding retreat, the retreat I was telling you guys about earlier in Las Vegas. We met there. And while we were there, we did talk, but most of our talking came after the retreat was over, after we returned to our homes. And we found out that we actually all have a lot of similarities and that we can work together. And it's just been great ever since. We collaborate, we give each other information, we make each other accountable, we check in. And as you guys are going through this process of trying to find a job, as you guys are going through this process of trying to be an entrepreneur, you want to find other like-minded people, okay? It's going to be hard. It's going to be days that you're going to want to doubt yourself. It's going to be days that you're going to want to give up. Okay, it's going to be days that you may not even want to go to a networking event. But you have to keep going. You have to keep trying. So you definitely want to have those people in your corner who can say, girl or boy, it's okay. You're going to get through this. I know it's a hard day, but remember, this is your vision. This is your goal in mind. What can I do to help? Okay? What can we create right now that can help you feel better? I saw a job today that goes along with your field. I'm going to go ahead and send it to you. Make sure you apply immediately. They said they're going to be interviewing this week or something. You know, something to help you feel better than one. 3 heads are better than one. Having people in your corner who are like-minded is definitely going to be valuable. Okay. All right. So I want to get into this week. All right. So this week you will create a marketing strategy. Woo-hoo. And you will plan to attend and utilize the strategies listed tonight by attending an networking event. Okay, so you will attend that event either this week. So I know, well, it's Monday. So if you can find an event in your area, and I know because many of you guys are in the Maryland, DC area, it probably won't be too hard because I know it's a huge market of definitely entrepreneurs out there, but just in general, it's a bigger market out there for a lot of other things than it is down here. So I know it's probably a lot of things going on out there, but if you can't find one this week, or if you can't attend one this week, try to attend one at least next week. Try to make that time in your schedule where you can get to at least one networking event. And I want you to use the strategies that were from mine, okay? I'm going to think about incorporating the journal back again if I see a good turnout as far as people completing the assignments and stuff this week. If not, then we may just, of course, again, cut it out. I want to make sure that you guys are, making sure that you're keeping up with the assignments and that you're completing them. Okay, so this is something extra that I added in. And depending on how much time we have left after this, I may show it. But this is an excellent example of marketing. Okay, this is an excellent example of marketing. Let me go back to that. I don't know why but this is an excellent example of marketing. Beyonce always comes to slay, and I don't know if you guys are able to watch her recent VMA Awards, but that performance was phenomenal. I mean, really phenomenal. And you really saw, of course, Beyonce's brand, she's fierce, but just marketing herself, marketing the tour and everything like that. And I just wanted to show it as a reminder, of marketing and branding, even networking. Just being at the VMAs was a networking event, because if that was your first time going, you probably would have gained so many contacts by just being at that event, by just sitting in the audience, sitting beside people. Okay, the experience of watching people walk the red carpet, or maybe even if you were able to walk the red carpet yourself, that's just an experience, a great networking experience. Okay, so again, if you have time before this is over, I'll try to show a little snippet, or a little snippet of it. Okay, so let me go back to the main page. Okay, excellent, guys. So I am back. All right, so I want to open it up right now for any questions that you guys may have. That was all that I had for you. So I want to see if you guys have any questions whatsoever. Guys. Like I said, feel free to put it in the box. Okay. So I'll wait for just a little bit, see if you guys have any questions or anything like that that you would like to. I may go ahead and show the little snippet of the VMA. Let's see here. I can go ahead and do that. Okay. Work sometimes. This program takes up a lot of space, so I want to make sure it will work. If it doesn't play, I'll at least send it to you guys, but I think it should work. Give me 1 second here. I'm still waiting for it to load, so I haven't forgot about you guys. My computer, I feel like it's been going slower and slower. I have a lot of stuff downloaded. I'm sure you guys know how that is. Well, I will worry about that later. It doesn't seem to be wanting to play, but it's fine. So I don't think, I'm looking on here, I don't think anyone has any questions. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, guys, I'm going to email you yours for this week. Of course, if you do have any questions or anything like that, please do reach out to me. And that was all I had for you guys tonight. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and log off. I hope you guys have an excellent, excellent night. And I will be talking to you soon.